go to bed.
Losers.
We'll keep recording and talking about you guys. The thing that seemed real strange to me was it was funny, but Fry was carrying around the carton of milk. He's like, "Hey, can you smell
this milk?"
But can Bender smell?
I don't know.
Oh God, that is a good question.
It's never been addressed.
I can't get every detail right.
If you can't smell, you can't taste, right?
Yeah, he
In
can
theory,
taste
yeah.
alcohol.
But he drinks and smokes cigars, right?
Doesn't mean he needs to taste them.
He smokes cigars because they make him
Then
look
why
cool,
would
and
he?
he drinks.
He needs the
beer
alcohol
because it
like
makes
for
him-
fuel.
Yeah, that's his
It
fuel.
keeps his fuels charged. It never said anything about him tasting it.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
how
he
he gets.
smokes cigars just to be obnoxious.
Yeah, and he drinks, and if he doesn't drink enough, he gets drunk.
Well,
It's like the opposite.
didn't you say if there was an episode where he turned into like a human or something? They said, what if Bender was human
Yeah.
and he just became obese?
And he died.
So he's just like addicted to different vices.
Sort of.
I think that Bender can't smell. He's smelled other things.
Like what?
I don't know. I can't think of
Probably-
anything else. He probably
Probably
knows.
like money or some shit.
Okay.
Yeah, Nolan Bender's
just-
probably.
Eating
Yeah.
money.
I kind of want one of those machines the professor had to mind swap with the monkey.
Jeez.
Like,
Remember that episode?
I'll mind swap with Cody because he's equivalent to a Bucky.
Ooh, burn.
he's gonna be real cold walking home tonight, isn't he?
Yeah.
Remember how you were grounded today? And how it's gone to tomorrow, too?
Oh no!
He thinks he gets a pass because it's show business.
Okay.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
I just the fact that they got so weird about Bender playing so much Dungeons and Dragons and not like they didn't care that Kubert and Dwight were.
Yeah.
It was just like whatever. But with Bender, but like I'm definitely old enough to remember that being like the panic fear. They talk about the after school special on this. Like that was a thing. Like people were scared that you'd conjure the devil
by playing Dungeons
by
and
playing
Dragons.
Are you
Dungeons and
serious?
Dragons. Yeah.
Why though? But
Well,
like,
it was just people
said
thought it was
too
satanic
much.
and
And then, like, I think there was some isolated case of, like, some dumb kids going into some sewer tunnels or something to play, and then one of them got lost or hurt or killed or, but that's just, like, general stupidity. Who hasn't wandered around sewer tunnels at this table?
Right.
who
That's
what?
where the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are.
That's why I was looking
Me
for
and
them.
Alex never went down a sewer tunnel in our lives.
Well, that's,
I've walked around in Cody's bedroom.
again, I have to question the parenting you guys are receiving.
Hey.
Because they haven't? Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying.
Nobody
Yeah.
liked my joke. Jeez.
Yeah. Welcome to comedy.
Yeah.
First rule of
Walking
comedy.
around the sewer was my vaccinations.
I think there are sewer tunnels down in Elmwood Park in Rocky River that we used to go into, and I like in hindsight, looking back at like the shit we'd see in the literal shit, it's like, oh my God, that was filthy and disgusting. It just didn't even occur to us. But they're like big sewer storm drains. Well, my friend posted a picture of one once, and it looks like a hellmouth. We were just like running in there, charging in with flashlights, like maybe there's something cool. Oh, look at all these tampons. Like it just didn't even flag that we were like walking around in sewer runoff.
Ugh.
I'm still alive though,
Trying
so
to hang out with Pennywise.
Yeah.
I did
Hiya,
not see any
Georgie.
red balloons.
Hiya, Georgie.
You get to hang out with your goldfish.
Well,
Yeah, that's true.
they were already gone. They got
I know,
eaten.
but they turn into mutants.
They had the transsexual hooker bot on again in this one.
Oh yeah, I remember her. I remember. Is it?
Hell yeah. Now we're talking.
it's just-
Hookerbot.
It just it's one of those things that stands out because it's tonally different, I think, from a lot of the stuff going on. It seemed a little easy and a little
What, the hooker bat?
yeah.
Oh.
It's a hack.
Yeah.
What did Bender called her a man witch? Or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah. Man,
It's like,
witch.
Out of
my
wench.
swamp, you kids.
You can't
Man
afford
witch.
it or something. I don't know.
Like Manwich?
Yeah.
Wench,
like-
not witch.
no.
Me-
it was
wench.
it was just
like a
Man
bar wench.
wench.
Oh,
because he
man
was
wench.
I thought we were
Man
talking about
wench.
Sloppy Joe's for a second.
he was in his delusion,
Yeah.
thinking everything was Cornwood when it was really just New York.
Boogly, boogly,
Running
boogly.
around with his sword.
He loses himself in his fantasy.
Yeah.
I guess, and then he tries to attack a bus,
Hell yeah.
which
Does not go
couldn't
well.
have gone well. Yeah,
Yeah,
he got
does not go well.
flattened.
Doesn't he end up in the loony bin after that? When does he end up in there?
Can't remember.
I think shortly thereafter that.
Corn what?
Because Fry uses the cone of coldness to freeze Bender, and then when he thinks he's frozen, they take him to the Hal Institute for the Criminally Insane Robots.
Ah, there you go.
I like that the doctor at the Hal Institute.
Dr. Perception.
Yes, his head was really cool.
Yeah. Whoa.
That's the sound
Excuse me, guys,
of a
I've-
cat that needs to die.
I have,
no.
No, he does.
Boo! Hiss.
dude, I just haven't.
Yes, boo.
This is his third vet visit in, I think, 3 weeks. He could probably just get put down. He's
Not my pal.
He's not happy to
Sad.
go. I mean, just
I'm going to remember that your third doctor visit, Pete.
yeah.
I'll take him.
Will
Is
you?
entirely enough for you?
No,
We have a taker. Just leave him in the box.
I want a guinea pig.
No,
They won't get me a guinea pig though.
Guinea pigs eat their young.
they won't get me a guinea pig. Do you hear all the white privilege shooting out of your mouth right now? They got me a dog, and they won't get me a guinea pig now.
You sound
You're
like
the
Burke
worst.
Assault.
They always
worst.
blame it on me whenever we get a dog because let's be honest, I'm not the only one who wanted a dog.
Because you don't do shit,
Yeah.
and then we take care of it, and you're like, you're the one. Like,
I
don't
take
want a
care of the dog, but life would be a lot easier without him.
You should find a way to turn the dog's poop into fuel, and then it will give you a reason
Yeah.
to collect it.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish
So,
you
it,
did
like,
with
Earn your
Nibbler.
Maybe I should put it in Cody's gas
That
gauge.
just puts us at the end of the first episode. So who's rambling more on this episode, Michelle?
Jeez,
Me
I don't know.
or
Cody.
Herbie. By
Hey.
far.
what
He makes
I
fun of me for it.
what I didn't understand was when the professor had his flashback about working for Mom and developing the dark matter drive. He's like, it was 30 years ago. He looked significantly younger than he
Yeah.
does now. If he's 165 in the present day and he's saying it was 30 years ago, that would make him 135 years old.
Did he
Still
say
look
that?
old
Because
and
I thought
reckless.
it was Nibbler that says it was 36 years ago now.
Now.
So did
The
professor also
said
say
30
here?
years
Oh.
somewhere else. This wasn't Nibbler talking. It was
Yeah,
just-
no, when he's telling the story about how he's the reason dark matter,
Exists.
like, why
Yes.
it's a fuel.
Like so valuable.
Yeah.
Nibbler, you look horrible. Nibbler's over there. Oh,
I bet you'd like to know indeed.
yeah.
Don't stop, Professor. I'm getting aroused.
Who said that one?
I don't remember. I should have put it.
Zoidberg.
Zoidberg.
Was it?
I'm getting
Well, Oh, that's right. Because then his flap comes up. He gets worked up.
You're cockatooling.
As Deepak Chopra
Yeah,
taught
he does
us,
say it all started 30 odd years ago.
quantum
But
physics.
you never know. Like maybe in the future you stay looking like 60 until you're 100 because of
he was
lifespan.
135 years old, though.
Yeah,
He had way more hair. I mean, even when he's had the time travel episodes,
true.
like he goes way far back before he starts looking like that.
Yeah.
So
But
Hmm.
and
Maybe that he's telling a story. That's just maybe he remembers.
Like
He's
how he
idealizing
does.
it.
Well,
Or-
no, because mom has babies nursing
yeah,
her.
that's true.
So she would have to be, you know,
She's doing a double breastfeed with Walter and Larry
And
too.
then she just throws
Yeah.
them. She
But-
just throws them in
but
their face.
yeah, well,
she
she's an
holds them in
abusive
front of her
parent.
to stop to protect herself from the explosion of.
And also, I've never liked the idea of time travel. I know this is about to get really dark. I've just never liked it. Like, if I had the ability to time travel, I would never use it because the idea of going forward, but then you could go back, but you wouldn't remember the exact time. You basically wouldn't be with the family you used to remember. They
I'm gonna blow your mind right
technically
now.
be with them.
You are traveling through time.
You're
into
traveling
the
through
future
time,
at the
going
rate of
to a
1
family that's
second to
technically
1
not
second.
yours.
Right now.
Right now,
Okay.
you're traveling through time.
I know, but it's just a really depressing thought.
When you're 21 and you can do certain things legally and you black out, that's also referred to as time travel.
do 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 do.
The shot at Deepak Chopra where quantum physics can mean anything can happen at any time for no reason was beautiful.
That's
he's,
true.
He's one of those authors that I don't know any merit of his actual work or not. I just worked at a bookstore when he was a best-selling author, and I developed resentments for certain people based on the number of items they shifted. So like I'd get in cases of his books. And it's like I'm fucking sick of seeing this guy's face. Nora Roberts was another one,
Oh,
and
yeah.
J.K. Rowling, unfortunately, like the whole Harry Potter thing. They'd bring out a crate of the new books like under lock and key. They'd give like miswrap them and put fake labels on them and stuff because God forbid someone leaks the Harry Potter story. I guess. There was the other line in there with where Mom was talking about how they are always losing money on the dark matter, but they do what they can to keep mining it just so that the world can keep running. And they come back with, if you're losing money, how did you post record profits last year? And she just,
How about some cookies?
yeah,
You look
that's-
thin.
it's funny how that question is still relevant so many
I'm
years
sure I
later.
couldn't destroy 102.
Yeah, true. That's Mom for you.
Is this the first time it was shown that Mom was together with Wormstrom at some point?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so,
Does
yeah.
that return, or was this just a one-off?
I don't know if they ever bring up that again.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it
don't
does
think
show
so.
another reason why Farnsworth hates Wernstrom.
True.
Again.
Also,
But is
why?
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, how old is Mom?
Ooh.
Did they ever
Just-
tell that?
No,
35.
younger than Professor, but old still.
Yeah.
Maybe like it seems like
But she
80.
smokes and uses a thigh master.
Yeah.
If she was that old, how would she be able to have the babies and them
Science.
just being like
Alex,
old
it's.
adults?
Science.
I think,
Science.
Science.
I think I did something.
Bill Squire would say cartoon logic, but I'm going to say science.
I think I did something wrong.
It's
with that.
cartoon
fine.
science.
My headphones would pick something up.
But
Did you-
it
I
does.
accidentally bumped into it.
Make
Does
sure
that
it's
suggest
plugged
that,
in all the way.
Is that worse, better, or worse?
I think mine's on the board on the thing. I don't know
Oh.
what I did.
I can still hear you, but can you hear yourself?
I can't hear myself.
Use the little volume knob on the thing and see if it's
Yeah.
better or worse.
Uh-oh.
Scrap.
Well, you're fired.
Aw.
It's okay.
Here, you want mine?
You'll be okay. If you can hear us in the room.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
So, is Wormstrom Walter and Larry's father?
Ooh.
You know?
Ooh.
I think so. 'Cause it just says that Farnsworth is just his father. Why? And it didn't. It just made a big deal out of that. Why wouldn't it make a big deal about all of the boys being his father?
And Mom did have black hair. We just don't know what what color Wernstrom's hair was when he was younger.
Did you see?
I think it was red
brown.
or brown.
I think it was brown.
Yeah, then I guess Wernstrom was the first two sons. Then.
I'd rather have the purple.
According to this,
haired
they're
one.
possibly his sons.
Okay. So
Yeah, I
there
mean,
is
I
no-
wouldn't put it past Mom to use like some sperm donor or something of someone that she chose or
True.
genetically engineered some sort of
Oh,
you know.
That seems like a total mom move.
Yep.
test tube babies. But Igner, do you think Igner is super dumb because he's in Fry's lineage? Do you think that's why he's like so dumb?
Never thought about that. That's entirely possible.
Because sometimes kids get more from their grandparents than their normal parents. So maybe that's a
Well,
thing.
Fry's his own grandfather.
Yeah, that's a whole
True.
other thing.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why.
Hell yeah.
Why did that
How much
happen?
time do you guys spend thinking about plotting revenge on a bad boss?
Little to none.
Well, you guys should get jobs. You're
Oh,
about to-
I've like heard about stories.
Are they still freeloading?
Me?
Yeah,
I
both
forced
of
them.
you.
I forced them into activities.
I
That's
tried.
good.
I tried to
Yeah.
get a
good.
job.
Turns out that in middle school you have to sign up for a music thing. I think that's really dumb.
I think that's brilliant.
No,
Just
it's
anything
not.
to keep you out of the
Expand
house.
your mind, bro.
I know, but I don't want to do anything next year. Kids should be allowed to just have school and get to
Oh,
spend the rest
boy.
of the time home. But
Here it
instead, I have
goes.
one day during the whole week where I get to stay home
Hear
from
that?
school.
Here, let me get all that white privilege off the screen.
Yeah. Tell me again about how you want to be 21 so you can be an adult because all of that free time gets even less.
Is
Oh
nothing.
my God.
The only time I have to myself involves a toilet.
Yep.
The end. Like, period. Every
Yeah.
other moment of my day is spoken for by someone except for those few small moments where I can exercise my bowel.
Oh, that's what you were doing in there. Okay.
Guys, this is still Futurama, but has the
boy.
saddest episode of all times been before this or past this?
We've already done
Yeah.
that one, yes.
Oh, yeah.
The one where Leela meets Alcazar?
No, no, it's where Seymour.
Oh, that they retconned that whole thing. That's just cloying. I just want to know what's in Amy's blinding powder because that seems pretty fucking great.
Amy's blinding powder. Where have I
Sounds
heard
so
that?
bad.
Where have I heard that before?
Amy made a blinding powder for the professor.
Thought it was pretty
this
self-explanatory.
She was plotting revenge on her boss. But the professor's commitment to makeup for dogs is brilliant.
Yeah, I remember that part.
I'm surprised that maybe there is really makeup for dogs. I haven't looked, but that seems like something
People
that.
paint their dogs' toenails.
I'm on it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh Jesus
Those
Christ!
are the people who buy like actual houses for their dogs.
Oh my god, I know that one. I know that one.
Dogs 101.
So are we to
Great show.
understand from Bender's group therapy group that Rosie the robot killed Elroy and Astro?
Yes.
Because they were dirty.
Clean. Everything
Dirty
must be
dog.
clean.
That was
The
why
dirty
the dog
dog.
had to die. He was a dirty dog. Dirty.
Dirty, dirty. Also, that boy, Elroy. Dirty, dirty.
Oh my god.
That's wonderful. I'm gonna start praying to the all-powerful atheismo too.
Switch places.
I'm just glad that I'm just glad they put Roberto in this one because I guess it's not a robot institute without Roberto.
Hey, was the Mad Hatter in that called the Mad Batter?
I don't think so. I don't even think they gave him a name necessarily.
Switch
He
places.
was Mad Hatterbot.
Okay.
Oh, that's boring.
At this point, it just really gets weird. They're all chasing down this crystal, and it started to feel like the Infinity Stones.
Although it has one of my favorite bits in any Futurama is the owl exterminator.
Yeah.
The
Where
Smother
Ignor is
Brothers.
It's just like,
I'm an owl
we're
exterminator.
owl exterminators.
And he just keeps repeatedly saying that.
Cornwood.
Not that far in.
He's
What do we have now? Wall gophers? Toilet snakes?
Is that your notes?
Oh yeah, I'm seeing this stuff as it passes through. Like,
Sounds like a set list.
yeah, it really does. Like, what about high frequency stink?
who whipped an egger.
I remember
He
that
who
joke.
smelled it dealt it. Yeah, well, he who denied it supplied it. Well, he who articulated it particulated it. Well, he who refuted it tooted it. Stalemate.
I'm surprised they didn't take that deeper. That was pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Good day.
And then mom says, Jesus craps, the anti-backwards crystal.
I didn't understand why they had Bender tied down with rats on him, and then the pendulum with the axe.
Because that's the
Relaxation
relaxation.
therapy.
Well, that comes after that, and they explain it, but it just seems like, I mean,
Is it a pit reference?
kind
Death
of.
to
but, like,
ogres.
they're torturing him, but it's not. It's the relaxation therapy, like and
For a
it's just-
robot.
yeah, for a
Yeah, for
robot.
For the criminally insane.
Mind you.
But
But
it
is
was
he-
just Edgar Allan Poe.
Is he really criminally insane though?
Technically.
Well, Bender, he's basically, yes, he's a criminal. He's stolen a ton of times throughout
Yeah,
the
but is he
series.
criminally insane?
But
Meaning
everybody
does-
needs a job.
This time he's insane. This episode he's insane.
One of my favorite recurring gags in this, and it's so dumb, was the killbots just shooting and then like turning around and like
What did
shooting
you
each other.
say?
I can't hear you. And they're like shooting
that
at each
was
other
good.
and just destroying each other.
Someone said fire.
yeah, it was beautiful.
I think they do that again in another episode.
What's
Do they?
that?
Yeah.
Because there were the killbots at the one. They went to the robot trade show and they had like Wormstrom's
Maybe
and the
that's what it
professor's
was.
ones, and they were the
No,
killbots
no, no.
were just like
there was
well,
something else where like they fly through them and then they turn and shoot at each other. I don't know if it's happened or not, or if it comes on.
I don't know. This is where it gets kind of goofy. There's like the whole Hoth attack, and they're on the planet mining the stuff. But the red hot razor sharp fans are the only safe way in. And this is the part where Leela starts getting really into the shock collar, like
Oh,
that.
it feels so good.
Yeah. And the big reveal is that the mine, the dark matter mine, is a Niblonian prison colony.
All we do is eat and crap and eat and crap. It's just like visiting my parents.
like, and this is where Nibbler says, 36 years ago now
Mm-hmm.
on Virgon 6. And I'm going, why does Virgon 6 sound familiar? And that's like, oh, that's the planet they found him on. But the whole thing that they glanced over and just like, whatever, they're like, you remember that I talked? And they're like, yeah, you forgot to wipe our minds last time. And it just didn't, they're like, okay.
Why did you let me use the litter box? Because you're cuter that way.
Cuter than a baby's bottom.
It just is all so strange.
Well, at least they finally explained why his planet was being destroyed
It was a paradise.
Yeah.
They just got to eat things and crap, but now they're in a prison where they only eat and crap and they seem unhappy.
Yeah.
I don't understand what the difference is.
I think it's because they're forced to eat one kind of food and it's not exactly free range.
Chicken,
This vent will
but
be a lot
chicken is
better
really
than-
delicious.
Sometimes, yes.
This
Other
vent will-
times.
No. But tell me, when have you eaten chicken when it wasn't delicious?
When it's dry, really, really dry.
But that's what sauce is for.
My turkey's been dry and I've tried
I don't know. Can't always save a chicken with sauce.
See?
Like, please explain, because I think you
There's-
could,
There's a
ketchup.
point where you can cook chicken so much that it's literally unchewable.
Yeah,
Go
the-
visit my grandma.
I'm
Let's not
very
forget, they're-
picky
they're
about my
probably
chicken.
used to
My
eating-
grandmothers
Oh,
do
bake
this,
it for an hour?
especially
Perfect.
if they smoked because they can't taste it.
They put
So,
it out in it.
I used to think turkey was the worst shit in the world
It
because
is.
because my grandma would make turkey every Thanksgiving and I would go, "What is this leather? This is god awful. Why do people eat this every year?" Then I had good turkey. I got old enough to have a boyfriend to go to his house on Thanksgiving and I was like, "Oh, this is what turkey is supposed to taste like. This is great."
Great.
My grandma just cooked the shit out of it and it was inedible. Like
mean-
it was worse than like if you would look at her turkey and then look at like
Her skin.
no, it was just so dry. It just looked like it had been sitting out forever, like on a plate.
just desiccated.
Like it
and-
just looked. It had no juice to it, and I don't think she listens to this.
Have
If
you-
she does, I'm so sorry, but it was bad. Your turkey was awful.
Have you sous vide any? What's sous
I-
vide?
You know
Sous
what?
vide?
I don't know. I did cook a steak yesterday.
It looked
in
delicious.
the
I'm just
sous
wondering if you
vide,
did
and
like
then
a
I
turkey
seared
in
it.
there.
I did a whole chicken,
Yeah.
like a small chicken.
Live
And it was
and
good.
everything.
Very. It's just one of those little.
Took one out of the
those little-
primary chicken valve.
Like a 4-pounder,
Is that,
you know.
Yeah.
is that
those
that
little-
like new cooking thing where you just throw stuff in a Ziploc bag?
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
like
what you're talking
vacuum
about?
sealed, and then you put it in the like a
Water?
pot of water, and then the sous vide
The little,
will.
like it's like a rod that sits on
yeah,
the side of
it
it.
circulates
Yeah.
water and heats it up and keeps it at a constant temperature
Yeah.
for a while.
I saw that in the store and I was like, "What in the hell
great.
is this?"
That's gonna be my next
But
step.
that
Right
chicken
now,
was so juicy.
I'm still on the instant pot thing, which
I
is
think with
Yeah,
the
we're like on the brink.
We
of
should
that.
just trade for a week, and I'll
Yeah.
give you my sous vide, and you can give me your instant pot, and then we'll see
Yeah, but
what's.
that thing looks so complicated. Like it was multiple
It
steps.
kind of is.
But
It
the
kind
the
of
sous
is.
vide or
Yeah,
the
you have to like
No, you
boil
just-
it and then you have to sear it. And I'm like, now I got.
not really.
But to the Niblonian thing, I mean, most of those Niblonians.
thanks
they
for
were-
getting us back.
I
on
was
track.
gonna say that.
But here's the thing.
Herbie's the
forget-
best at it.
Most of those Niblonians were captured straight off their planet, and they're probably used to only eating the animals that were native to their planet.
Well, that wasn't their planet. That was like a.
You
a
know what's
planet they
not
were on
native to
doing-
my area?
What?
Chicken tikka masala.
What the heck is that?
But I will eat that shit every day of my life because it's delicious.
Third day.
I think these guys,
Also, it's chicken.
but with Nibbler, Leela introduced him to all these different foods. He was used to this, but these other Niblonians, no, they were not used to it.
Who wants a ham?
No segue. No nothing. But
It's why the whole thing where the doctor drills into Bender's eye.
the robotomy.
Yeah,
You
that
could
was
just use the access panel.
It was
Yeah.
super unpleasant. Well, that was almost a callback to the Zoidberg thing, where he's like, "So I cut the big hole in him for nothing," and he just throws the organs back.
I mean, that's how they did transorbital lobotomies on, all those women who dared speak back to their husbands.
Are you serious?
try and
Oh
vote.
yeah.
Oh
You
my
just
God.
answered
That
your own
sickens me.
question.
That sickens me.
so to speak. Like, obviously they did that, but they didn't go
Yeah.
into the eye. They went up and around.
They went well, not into the eyeball.
Right.
They
Right,
went
right.
up through the tear ducts.
And then they just tap, tap, tap. Happy
did
wife.
a little Scoop.
It reminds me.
And
I-
they even
well, I'm
let
not-
you. They even let you keep the little part they cut out.
I'm not advocating.
Oh,
about
my
That-
arms
that-
hurt now.
your
My
spouse.
eyes hurt now.
That reminds
Not you, but maybe you Google transorbital lobotomy.
Right.
Or
That-
don't.
that
I don't
remind-
know. But
That'll hurt.
16-year-old Michelle would have done all kinds of research
But
It
that
on
makes my eyes
transorbital
hurt. I don't know
lobotomies.
why. Whenever I see something
Sorry.
like that, it makes whatever part of the body that it happens to the character, it feels like it's happening to me. Like my body part starts to feel like pain or sore. It starts to feel like
Phantom.
Starts to feel sore.
Phantom pain.
That reminds me of like
Oh.
way back when. I don't know if they still do it, but people used to have these really bad dreams where they would get torn apart by a vicious dog, or
Night
they would
terrors.
get chased by it. But then like the frontal lobe is what has pain, or what gives you pain, or fear.
Fear. It was fear.
So like
Alex.
if they would cut it out and they would still have those dreams, but the dog wouldn't be vicious. It would be like a happy dog, it's just chasing him.
There's no such thing as a happy dog. I mean, there's the bar, the happy dog,
Right.
Okay.
but
Hot dogs.
they're all dogs harbor a shocking amount of resentment, especially towards
I
people.
don't know.
It's true.
I don't think so.
I see the way my dogs look at me.
They pretend like they're great actors. Every dog, Oscar-worthy performance, but
I don't know
deep
because
down inside,
every time I go visit my mom, her dog freaks out and like tries to like skin meld with me. She like won't leave me alone because she misses
Trying-
me so much.
is trying to get inside your body
Yeah.
and eat your
Our
organs.
uncle's dog.
No, she just wants to be me so she can love me more.
Well, our uncle's dog. She is just a sweet little thing. It's
Does your uncle always wear shorts?
Mine does.
I don't think Corey really does. Only when he has to. But yeah, her.
Only when he has
I
to.
know when it's hot. Anyway, his
And
dog.
when the
she's a
dog's
pit bull,
around,
by the way. She's
he
a pit bull.
always has to.
She is the sweetest little thing you could ever meet.
It reminds me of Portia. For Portia,
Our-
you need to have like special sweatpants because she'll slobber all over it.
Oh my god! Do not remind me.
She
Okay,
puts your head. She
That's why
puts
you
her
wear
head on your
shorts.
leg. There's like a
Probably on.
mountain of like just slobber on.
Well,
her.
maybe you guys can answer this because it didn't make any sense to me.
What's up?
Bender disappears. He just vanishes.
Yeah, like that's part of where I get like not confused, but just like, oh, what's like why are they couldn't just think of a better way to get the characters from like real life to Bender's imagination?
Yeah,
like
it just goes off the rails at
it
this
just
point.
it does kind of go off the rails, but that's not to say that the second half of the movie isn't good. It just the way that this is put together just makes no sense. Like
Yeah, and then at the
They
end,
put too much into it.
they all like knew that they were in that thing.
Besides Herbie.
Even
like they remember
even
it.
everyone else, yeah, that
Yeah.
didn't know that they were in the game
like Hermes
or whatever. Yeah,
But I
Good
think
job.
the
But-
way how Bender, I think a theory for Bender might be because he had all that dark matter inside of him. It might have maybe did something with him because of I don't know. I'm not a
Cartoon logic is what Bill would say, and that's
yeah,
what I get.
this is
Beyond
definitely cartoon
It,
logic.
yeah, it
Yeah,
just
definitely
they
cartoon
just say
logic.
forget it. And if you get into like fantasy, then literally anything can happen.
It's true. That's true.
There is a book series called Critical Failures where these people are playing Dungeons and Dragons, and for some reason I've only read the first book, but their DM like puts them into
The game.
the game and then doesn't know how to get them back out because the DM just did it to everybody who he didn't like when they were playing. He
Like-
would just put them all into the game.
Something like Jumanji.
Yeah, kind of like that, but they become like their characters and they have their character stats, and the one guy keeps like shitting himself because he has like low charisma or something. It's a pretty funny book.
So instead of science, it's crazy hocus pocus, like in Kansas.
Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo.
Yeah, I wrote that same book when I was in 6th grade. We had an assignment to write a book, and I wrote a book where we got like sucked into a computer for D&D.
Oh, so war games or
Essentially.
Tron.
Yeah.
who wrote it
It was
first?
D&D. Obviously me.
There,
6th
there
grade.
was this line in here, and it was just a throwaway, but it was so good. It's like, Oh, is that a hobbit? No, that's a hobo and a rabbit.
But they're making a hobbit.
Oh my god! I remember that. Oh my god.
He said, "But you're making a hobbit."
But okay, so at this point, you've got the parallel storylines of like Ignar and Ignis, and the Brayfarn and Momon, and the professor and mom. Did they reveal that the professor is Ignar's father in real life, or is it just in the fantasy?
It's the same. He said like father, like son in the actual thing.
When they came out of this, though.
We both ate the crystals.
Yes.
I think since in the game, I think they retained memories of when they were in there, and that came back with them in the back into their world.
Well,
Mom
mom
even-
does tell.
Yeah.
Mom
Mom
tells
says-
the other two sons,
Yes.
and Ignar's watching, and I believe I don't know.
it gets super weird at this point. I mean,
That's
there's
supposed to be canon, though. That now that it's revealed that
That's
Ignar
fine.
is.
That farm
But
got
the way they do it is confusing. This whole
Yeah.
episode is confusing.
That farm-
I liked it. Now I'm confused.
that there's a
Yeah.
there's a
Got an
bouncer at
actual
the Cave of
son.
Hopelessness.
We've officially been getting off track for about an hour.
Why not?
That's what this podcast is all about. We rarely
Means
remain.
we're right on track.
This,
I mean,
yeah, this
yeah.
is actually the most on track we've been because you guys have to leave in 10 minutes.
We're actually coming up on part 4. I mean, the Zoidberg millipede gets killed and goes, "Oh, now I'm dead."
I'm
which
gonna
is
eat
beautiful.
your heart.
The tunneling horror was basically just a Tremors worm, right?
No, the graboids, they look a lot different than the tunneling terror.
You just struck a nerve, bro.
What are they called in Tremors?
Graboids.
Graboids?
Yeah,
That's what we should call them.
Yeah,
Graboids.
That's what I called my uncle.
Because it was actually thank you. It was actually a friend
Wait,
of
did
the
he
main
wear shorts all the
characters that
time?
named
Oh,
him
yeah.
that, but then he got eaten. And
By the Graboids.
yeah, but the production team, they didn't know what to call them, but so the name Graboids just stuck. So they just added that on to the next movies.
Okay.
Wait, so did he just think about it? He just said, we should call them Graboids.
No. He and this kid Melvin, Walter Chang and Melvin, were trying to think of names for them because
I feel like you're speaking Chinese again.
the guy who named them and this kid,
Mostly just because you said Chang.
his name's this guy, the shopkeeper in that movie,
you've done it.
and the annoying kid in that movie, like he's snotty, bratty, treats everybody like dirt. They're trying to think of names for them, and the shopkeeper comes up with graboids because they grab you from under the ground.
And what's this from?
Tremors.
From the
Okay.
actual movie Tremors.
Oh,
I just call them Tremors.
I've never seen Tremors.
I've seen all
Also,
the movies.
Guys, I have to say,
Suddenly, Miss Goody Four Shoes doesn't
Yeah.
kill anymore.
do you know what happens usually in like school and sometimes in real life? I mean, school's not in real life. But when I get back home, I'll like there in social studies once there. Do you know how they have teachers in like the background and they talk to the actual teacher sometime and they like walk around checking on your work?
The teacher's aide.
Yeah. Well, I was desperately I was raising my hand. I was desperately trying to get her to call on me. But, like, right when she called me, she said, "Alex, the teacher's aide says blah, 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 blah." She said something, and I'm like, oh, my God. She
What?
The
I want
teacher-
those 30 seconds back.
I'm trying to figure out what just happened.
the
Wait.
teacher called on me, but right when she called on me, the teacher's aide said, like, a question, and she forgot she even ever called on me.
You probably dodged a bullet.
Probably.
I mean, look, the teacher's aide is just trying to become a teacher. It's like an assistant teacher, so they're getting doubly shit on. You need to treat them with respect.
I thought it was about Graboids.
She didn't treat you with respect.
We went from
I still don't know what it was about.
Futurama
I'm gonna have to rehash
The
it in the car.
Graboids.
Oh, you're about.
to school.
I mean, I'm taking your word for it. My kid goes
Way
to
to go,
school
Alex.
too, and she's never talked about teachers' aides.
Way to go, Alex.
There's the Teletubbies cameo that happened just
Really?
sort of
Yep.
randomly.
That
That
was
was very
Teletubbies
strange.
When was that? Was that the Rabbit and Hobo? Is that
No,
what they made?
That's Lord of the Rings.
No, they were going to Wipe Castle, and as they kind of rode by, there was like the Teletubbies waving.
Oh
you
yeah.
don't have to worry about getting fat because of all the diarrhea.
White Castle, I love.
Wipe?
Secretly, I love White
the
Castle.
actual
White
restaurant?
Castle or Wipe Castle?
White Castle.
What
Never
is White
been there.
Castle?
I've never been to that restaurant.
That's because they got rid of all of the White Castles in Northeast Ohio, which is a huge bummer. But there's one right by my mom's house, which is outside of Columbus,
It's still
so
open?
I can still go. Oh, dude, there are tons of White Castles in Columbus.
They just off in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, they
What
closed
is
them
White
all.
Castle? Is
There
it a
used to be one.
restaurant?
Do you
Little baby
know
burgers.
on West 117th when you're getting off of the highway, there's that white building that's got the blue
It looks like a
I
castle.
don't know what you
shapes
just
on
said,
it.
so if
Looks
it was
like
a bad
a
sign.
castle. There used to be a White Castle on
When you're
on
going to
West
the Lido
117th.
Lounge.
Yeah.
Well, no, these
It's-
kids know what the highway.
you guys
They know
talking
road
about?
names. Come
I was
on,
just
they're
there
old enough
last
to know
Saturday.
road
Yeah,
names and
sorry.
highways.
At my bachelor party.
Oh, God.
It was
Have you
beautiful.
gotten any antibiotics yet?
Yeah, penicillin.
Yeah, that's
Right in the right cheek.
that's a drive-by STD. That place.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, was the White Castle thing just supposed to be a funny
Play
pun?
on White
Yeah.
Castle,
Yeah, I
and that
think so.
gives you the shits.
Okay. And of course, Roberto is the king there.
Boogly, boogly, boogly.
And again, another reference to Lord of the Rings, crazy Lord of Gondor, crazy King of White Castle.
So when the orc are those orcs or are they just Mommon's guards, Mormon, Mormon, whatever?
I just understood why there were morks in
Yeah.
the cave. I just got that.
no.
I didn't make the connection between orcs and morks. It took me until
I
just now.
Every time there's a Robin Williams reference, I
But
just
I
get
got
sad.
so sad.
What?
I got
do you,
so
do you
sad.
guys know who Robin Williams is?
Oh, who doesn't know who Robin Williams is?
They're kids younger than you.
Um,
I'm just saying, like, there's going to be a point where he becomes.
Well,
Yeah.
he
Who
was
is he?
he was
Maybe
on a
rest-
TV show called Mork and Mindy, where he played an alien.
I've heard of
Like
that
an
show.
alien
I've
named
heard of that
Mort.
show.
Before Michelle was born, this
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Herbie, was he that guy who he was that crazy guy who?
He was the genie in Aladdin.
Alex,
He was
He was in
Jumanji.
Jumanji.
Popeye. He was
Jack.
So you pulling up the Popeye movie as a reference is the best thing that has ever happened on this show.
She strunks to the finish.
He was Peter Pan and Hook.
Yeah, he was Peter Pan and Hook. He
We have the
was
same pipe.
he was
Yeah, in a
Alan
million
Parrish
years, I would
in
not have pulled
Jumanji.
out Popeye. In a million. I didn't even know that
They
was
tried
a thing.
it's a Robert Altman movie.
It's such a good
Like
movie.
that's
though.
how
it's good.
that is insane.
We loved it. We loved it.
Oh, I watched it like 100 times too because it's one of the 4 movies that was on HBO when I was young. But like,
Me too. Me too.
but it's terrible.
The
Um,
Popeye movie.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Singing was good.
it's
though.
it's still terrible. You can like terrible things, but it is objectively bad.
Why?
It's just really bad.
Because
Alice,
When you have the clock of mortality ticking in your ear constantly, every moment you wasted on something that's not worthwhile, like this show, is just a screaming reminder that you're going to die.
I have a
He was also
feeling
in
that
Mrs.
you just started
Doubtfire.
that sentence so you could say that.
he was also
No,
Mrs.
no,
He
it's true.
was Mrs. Doubtfire. He was also in
Yes.
Flubber.
When the guard is on the ladder and gets excited by gynecoladrial,
Yeah.
what exactly comes out of him that destroys the ladder and makes it split and makes him fall down? What
A rusty
particular
ladder.
secretion was that?
It was. I think it was. His saliva was acid.
Okay.
Okay.
It was saliva
It's
because
just-
he
it
was
was-
drooling.
Okay, it was the drool.
Okay.
yeah,
I
it was
just-
drooling.
Yeah.
It could have been
Yeah.
any number of things.
Okay.
So that's the best possible answer. Thank you, Tom. Oh, now it makes sense. I thought I had
What?
a weird autocorrect.
What?
Eat the wizard, eat the slut, eat the robot shiny butt.
I was gonna mention that song. I was gonna mention that song.
I love it.
It gets real weird at the end. Like,
Why?
get your friend out of my mouth. That's one.
What?
Somebody says it. I don't remember who, but I made that note.
Hell yeah.
Was
I'm
that Pickles?
I'm not quite sure where we are in the episode.
this is-
Battle of Wipe Castle.
Yeah, it's the Battle of Wipe Castle.
Mm-hmm.
They
Stop
got-
talking like that. It gives me anxiety. It's another good line.
Boot. Is that hot oil? Yeah, it's hot oil. I was right, guys.
The professor flipping out that it's not a magic bug, it's a magic arachnid.
I'll kill you.
Can't you count the legs?
Then there's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Then during the Wipe Castle when he's just about to throw the giant boomerang, he's like, "Wait, what?" And under the end of the giant boomerang.
Oh
he's
yeah, and
gonna-
it comes out from behind him. Like
Like,
that was just a weird. weird scene.
You would not believe how many times I have seen that gag in other cartoons for
Your
kids.
arachnid crapped it out.
It makes me laugh so
Well, it wasn't in
hard
the
sometimes.
arachnid yet. It was the professor was throwing it, and it was coming back to him. It was like warping space and time.
I know, but I love that thing in cartoons. I forget what it's called, but like it's where like characters can pull out giant weapons just out of nowhere.
Cartoon logic.
Like
Talk to
Deadpool.
Bill
Alex,
about it.
cartoon logic. Cartoon logic.
Like
Don't-
Bender's chest cavity.
We've almost come to blows over cartoon logic.
Yeah,
but
that's-
Bill's your go-to guy.
Remember when Bender had a lot of goldfish inside of his stomach?
No.
Yeah, his chest is like Mary Poppins' bag.
So then
That's what she said.
they all like it just kind of reverts back to normal, I guess. And they're like, oh, we're out of that weird crazy world and back in our own
Because
crazy
they
world.
destroy the.
No. They didn't destroy it.
But they didn't destroy it
Oh,
yet
they
because
didn't.
Professor and Igner still had the crystals.
Oh yeah.
Zoidberg tried to take the die so he could have all the power. Then he drops it. Then Mommin gets it, and then game over. They're back in their world, but Farnsworth and Ignorant.
But if it was all in Bender's imagination, did it really even happen in the first place? Like, it's just the whole thing is bonkers.
Oh, and also it proves
My head
that
hurts now.
Mom
Yeah.
did actually know
Mine
that it
too.
happened because
Man, my head's
she
really
says literally when they get out, "I beat you in that world, I can beat you in this one too."
Yeah, it does. It's very strange.
Yeah.
She didn't remember it while she was in there, but she remembered it when she got back in.
The last note I have in here is now they will use the Niblonians as horses, and I cannot for the life of me remember what that means.
What?
Once they
Nibbler
destroy all
power.
of the dark matter fuel,
Oh,
they
then-
use nibbler power.
That's right. So does that part stay, or does it just go back to being dark matter? as
It
the
just
fuel
goes back
source?
to being dark matter.
I don't know what it does. I think it just I think it's ambiguous throughout the entire series. You just don't know what's powering the ship.
It's whale oil, okay?
What?
It's whale oil. It says that in like one of the last episodes.
Really?
It's like there's a big canister of it and it says whale oil.
No, I mean whale oil's come up before.
Really?
But Bender calls his rear end because we're just with IE at the end. It says IE. It says
Assy.
you came home.
I remember that.
Oh, like the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Bender. I feel like we just went through a tornado.
Yeah.
That's we talked about 4 episodes of this show in an hour and a half, which is unheard of.
Was it 4 episodes?
Oh, I thought it was one.
What's one long one?
This was an hour and a
It was,
half.
it was one of the movies.
We saw it on
I don't know.
Netflix. They just stayed in one continuous thing. We didn't know it was about 4 episodes.
Yeah, they're 4 episodes.
Like on television?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they split
This
it
is
up.
like this is the thing. I don't know if your daughter does this, but this aggravates me to like no end with these two. Is that they'll go on YouTube and they'll watch like the best clips of like every movie. And so I'll tell them, I'll be like, hey, do you guys want to watch this movie? Have you ever seen it? And they're like, no, we haven't seen it, but we've seen a lot of parts of it.
That's me, not him. That's me. Blame
Just-
me for that.
She
Why-
doesn't
not
know.
a Family
She doesn't
Guy.
know about that stuff yet, and I hope she never
You're
does.
ruining art. You're just ruining the whole.
Watch a whole
drives me
movie.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
Ace
exactly.
Ventura though. I know.
Uh,
Yeah, that's another
I
one
would
on
I
our
would say
agenda.
not worth it, but you're a boy, so
Ew.
you'd probably
Yeah.
like
Hey,
it.
Ew.
look, I
What
s-
did you just say? Blasphemy.
I saw Ace
Blasphemy.
Ventura in the theater the night it came out because I'm
Hell yeah.
100 years old.
Hell yeah.
I never saw clips of Straws. I just watched the whole
Of
movie.
straws?
Jaws. I never saw
Oh.
I never saw any clips. I just saw the whole movie.
Good.
Herbie.
Every single one, by the
Yeah,
way. I
that's
saw
a-
every single
That's how
Jaws
movies
movie.
are meant
That's
to
a-
be watched.
Yeah, exactly.
How
Herbie
do
didn't
you,
tell me what
Sh-
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was.
how do you feel about love bugs?
What?
I love them.
I'm sorry.
They bug me.
I thought you'd get it.
What are love bugs?
They're
Throw whatever you
sentient
want.
cars that get up to all kinds of hijinks.
Oh, Herbie the love bug.
Herbie fully loaded. You would
That's-
not know how
oh
many
my
times
God.
I've heard that
that's
name
like
because of mine.
that, but
That's the Lindsay
Lohan.
Lohan vehicle. That's
Ew.
the literally vehicle.
Ew.
That's not even the actual movie. That's like
It's
40
like
years
one of
later.
those Michael Keaton Rent movies.
Yeah.
Ew.
I've seen that movie before. It was my favorite when I was a kid. Besides
Because it
that.
had your name in it.
Besides Dinosaur and Finding Nemo.
You realize that's a remake, right?
What?
Herbie Fully Loaded is a remake of a movie called Herbie the Love Bug.
Lindsay Lohan's entire career from the age of like
I think it's
8 to
technically a
16 was
sequel.
just
Is it a
remaking
sequel
old
or is it?
movies.
Yeah. No, I don't think
it's
it's
like
a
a
remake.
reboot. It's a
Yeah.
reboot. Yeah.
But not gritty.
It's
It's not good.
fully loaded.
My God.
She certainly was.
I am.
Yeah.
Probably is.
Still.
They
Poor
had to
thing.
spend a bunch of CGI money and de-hance Lindsay Lohan's chest in that movie
Are you
because people
serious?
complained.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I cannot remember that movie for the life of me. I haven't seen it in years.
it's you know what? You're probably okay with that.
Yeah.
Like I
I
said,
babysat a girl who had it on, but I didn't watch it. She also put
Or
on
the child.
she loved that Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan. Like she just really liked Lindsay Lohan. So she put on the Parent Trap and then she would act like the shitty, stubborn like character that Lindsay Lohan played in that movie, and I'm like, stop. Like that's not how actual people act.
she ain't got
Like-
shit on Haley Mills. It's just
I don't even know who that is.
Haley Mills was in the original.
The
Haley
original
Mills
Okay.
was the
Trap.
1960s
I didn't
Lindsay
know her
Lohan,
name.
but she is British, much more not awful as a person. Later, here's where it ties into later pop culture. When Saved by the Bell first started,
Saved
it was
by the Bell. remember
Good
that
Morning, Miss Bliss was the original title of the show. Haley Mills was the teacher
She played Miss
for like the
Bliss.
first season.
Okay.
And then she was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And then it became Saved by the Bell and like Zack and Screech centric.
I also realized I said Parent Trap. I meant Freaky Friday, the other Lindsay Lohan movie.
Oh
where
my
Wait, so
she-
she
God.
remade Parent Trap, she remade
Friday.
Freaky
Yes.
Friday, and Herbie.
Yes.
It's basically where this mom and her daughter, they're on very bad terms.
Oh, we all know what Freaky Friday is
No,
about.
he doesn't. He's never seen Freaky Friday.
I have a guess.
Don't
There
bother.
was an entire genre of movies in the late 80s about body swapping. Like there was like a
telling me.
year
There's
where there were 4
big-
movies about that.
Herbie, just tell me. Come on.
Basically, the
You
mom
can tell
and
him
the
in the
daughter,
car. You
they're
can tell him
Yeah.
in the car. Don't. This is called dead air.
Yeah, okay, let's not. Not
wants-
right now, little brother.
Come on.
Not right now, little brother.
You guys said you get off track all the
The
time.
mom and the daughter switch bodies. So they're the
That's
daughter's
what
in the
I
mom's
We're-
body
the
and the
episode's
mom's in the
done.
daughter's body.
She's like, oh my god, I'm old. Ew.
Yeah, it's really annoying and
There's
not
a
how
great
teenagers
SNL
act.
skit last week about
Was
that
it?
genre.
Really? Who was it?
John Mulaney. It was amazing, and you have to watch it.
Okay, I'll have to go find it. I feel like we could go off the rails for the rest of the night, but as I understand it, it's past you guys' bedtime.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
bedtime.
No. Jim.
So, hey, thanks for being on the show. Do you have any parting thoughts or things to plug?
Yeah. You got any plugs, guys?
Bender is great.
Futurama is a great gift. Why not buy it? Please don't shoplift. There's robot spending and something. Da 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 da. Why not Zoidberg?
And yeah. I'm
You
Cody
should-
Cooper. I
Yeah,
love
you
all.
deal with this 24/7ish.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Dory.
Oh yeah. And
sorry.
I just started working from home, so I'm with them.
I
when
tried
they
to
get
marry
home,
my
so.
girlfriend with a diamond scrunchie, but then I got beat up at a rock concert a year later by a guy named Scrunchy.
Do you have anything to have people find you on the internet?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can follow me on Facebook, or you can friend me on Facebook at the Cody Cooper, or at Cody Cooper is my name. You can follow me at the Cody Cooper on Instagram and Twitter. I'll be in Dayton with Mr. Squire at Willie's Comedy Club down there. So
Is that
um,
we might be missing the date? This is going to come out the week after next week. Is
Next
that it?
week, yeah.
What are the
Come on.
dates that you'll be down there? I've seen you plugging it. It looks like
Oh,
it'll be
yeah,
a fun
yeah.
time.
no. I just thought maybe you'd have prefaced it with when this comes out, but before you told me to plug something.
That's
Oh,
okay. It's a real ramshackle operation over here.
I'll be at Hilarity's Mother's Day weekend. So Wednesday through Sunday.
Oh, awesome.
I'll be at downtown.
Just hanging out
Hilarity's.
there.
Yeah, I'll be performing. Yeah, but also mostly hanging out.
Valet if somebody doesn't show up.
Yeah, in between sets.
Who's with you that weekend?
Josh Wolf will be there.
Cool.
He's hilarious.
It'll be a fun time. And we've talked about Hilarities before on the show. It's such a great club.
Oh, it's the best. Yeah.
And I mean, really one of the best places to see comedy in the country.
Yeah, we're spoiled.
Yeah.
Like local comics because
Are you
that's
It's
like
good.
the pinnacle. Well, sort
are,
of.
are you asking us where we can be found on social media?
Probably not.
Yeah,
I don't think
I don't
that's-
think we should get
No.
involved with that.
Yeah.
Instagram's
Um,
like the only thing that. gets
There's a
money
bunch
for
of
that.
weirdos that listen to the show. We love you guys, but
Yeah.
On Snapchat, my name is just I don't need to be.
Okay.
Enough.
that's
Never mind
Have fun
him.
with all those dick
Never
pics,
mind
kid.
him.
On that note, you can send dick pics or other pics to us at slurmcastpod@gmail.com.
Hell
You
yeah.
can text them to us at 216-438-1077. You can
Yeah,
go-
what's that, guys? 1077.
Oh my god.
It's our phone number. That's what it is.
Futurama reference.
Uh,
You probably, it's from early
Total
Futurama.
posers.
I can't remember that much. I
I'm
haven't seen
so
for a
sorry I
second.
brought them.
Hey.
It's a price of a large pizza and a soda
In
At-
1999 at
Yes,
Panucci's Pizza.
at Panucci's Pizza.
Duh.
Um,
Even I knew that.
You can go to slurmcast.com and download all of our episodes. You can get a link there to our TeePublic shop where you can buy Futurama and non-Futurama related shirts that we've curated into our little store that we will get a cut from if you buy them. Rate and review us in iTunes. Find us on Facebook or Twitter and Instagram at slurmcastpod. I'm all out of whack. These are all backwards because it's been so long since we did an episode, but
I think that's
it's all
everything.
there. Yeah. So have a great week, everybody,
too.
and we'll talk at you again soon.
Thank you for having me here.
I love
Yeah, thanks for having
I love
us.
you.
Get bent.
Go to
Bye.
bed.